Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand to urge this House to vote for engrossment on this bill that we have had the privilege to debate today. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for your incredible leadership that has brought us to this moment. I thank the Chairman of Judiciary for his management and oversight of the hearings that have educated so many of you, my colleagues, and for his eloquent introduction of this bill on this floor this morning. Let us not forget what we are doing and why we are here. We are here because we love the people of Massachusetts. We are here because we love the government of Massachusetts. We are here because we love that incredible connection between all of us together as a commonwealth and everyone who lives and arrives here. And that combination goes back to our origin. When we read the words, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. When we read these words, we, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty, we must never forget that those words were not written in the future tense. They were written in the present tense. They were meant to be true for the people at the moment they were written. But we also know how incredibly radical those words were. And so those words were so radical that barely before the ink had dried, the writers could not conceive of those words applying to everybody that was alive in this state then, in this nation then. But over the centuries, that changed. More and more people saw themselves written into those documents. And they saw themselves written into those documents because they had an incredible insight. And the incredible insight that they had was the word "we" included them. The word "we" included them. And over our whole history, we have seen that amazing American advancement of more and more people being included in that word "we." And we today are on the verge of including another group of people, excluded, not even probably imagined by the people who wrote those words, being included and protected in this Commonwealth of Massachusetts. We should be so proud. We should be so proud. Proud that we are doing the work the founders of this place meant us to do. And we have done it. and our predecessors have done it. And every time they did it, every time someone else was included, two things happened. One thing is that those people themselves got to be able to participate. But the other thing that happened was that we who made the decision to give them the inclusion that the rights they had demanded, we who made that decision, we changed. They changed, and we changed. And every time that happened, it meant that we looked at the world differently. We talked about giving rights to Africans, people of African descent in this country, and it was clear that every time that discussion was had before 1865, that it could not be completed without making the decision to abolish slavery. When we decided that who should be included as full members of the we in these documents, that women should be included in the we of these documents, it was not enough to grant civil rights to women. We had to change the laws about property, to change the laws about marriage, change the laws about safety in this country to put all of that together. Every time we have done this, we have never been sure. Few of us could probably predict who was still left out, who also needed to be included. 2 years after World War II, when the Massachusetts legislature created the predecessor to the Massachusetts Commission Against Discrimination, they talked about color, race, religion as the protected categories. It would take a while for those protected categories to be expanded. I suspect that we were in a meeting with those people in the 1940s and mentioned transgender people, all we would get is a blank stare. And that is true for us today. We don't know who will be next. But as long as we sense that everybody is not included in this Commonwealth for the very fact that they are human beings, we know that there will be other people rightly demanding to be part of the we. I've had the privilege, along with a few of you, to have been here long enough to be able to remember debates on gay rights, on marriage, and now transgender. That has been an incredible privilege for me, Mr. Speaker. But let me remind you that there will be others to come. But today we can celebrate this, that when our grandsons and granddaughters 20 years from now ask us, where were you? Where were you when people, trans people in this society, in this state, had their rights protected? Where were you? We can answer, I was there voting. That's where I was. And I was joining the group of Massachusetts lawmakers who, in the 1980s, concerned about human rights in the world, voted to divest all of our pension stocks in South Africa so that we could have some peace of that struggle to end apartheid. You can say to your grandsons and granddaughters, you will be able to say, I was part of that organization that spoke to gay rights in this Commonwealth. That made this Commonwealth the first Commonwealth that legalized same-sex marriage. You will be able to say all of these things because of the work you have done today. This is a great day for us, but it is not the end. This is a great day for us, and we should be very proud. But as Martin Luther King loved to say, the arc of the moral universe bends towards justice. I always thought he should add another sentence, not by itself. It only bends towards justice because there are courageous people who grab hold of it and bend it down. You are a courageous legislature. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.